My Skinfessional is that I know deep, deep, deep in my heart that Jane Iredale has the best supplements in the whole world. Like, my skin's never been so good, but they're so expensive. So I'm just going to get something from Sephora.
Hi, I'm Sybil Solon. I'm an esthetician and spa owner.
And hi, I'm Alex Ellis. I'm a body nerd and wellness expert, and we are business besties.
And bosses. Running your own business, it's hard.
But we're terrible employees, so we're figuring it out.
Hey, I've already figured it out, but we promise to share everything we know about making six figures.
And be brutally honest about what works and what totally sucks.
And I'll be honest, there's a bunch of it that totally sucks, but let's get started.
So much that sucks. Welcome back to Skinfessional. On today's show, we are talking about the dumpster fire that is the PPP, aka the Payment Protection Program. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, the Payment Protection Program or the CARES Act or whatever the heck they're calling it.
Or a dumpster fire of debt.
Or the shit that's just not working at all. I called it.
We'll also be talking about the fund that is filing for unemployment.
And the massive pivot that I have done that was super scary, but is totally working, at least for now.
Woo, 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 woo. But we'll talk about that too. So I think that's awesome. I mean, let's actually just start, make a shit sandwich, start with the shitty. Let's talk about this Payment Protection Program and also how all of these companies now are being shamed into giving their money back, which makes me feel a little bit better about eating at Shake Shack. But also I'm like, you guys only gave this money back because you had to.
Because bad PR. They should never have asked for it in the first place. Like Shake Shack sitting around being like, please, sir, can I have some more?
No, they're like, oh, we don't really. I mean, no one location has more than 500 employees. That counts.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. So it was originally designed for small business owners like you, like me, like people, even like people who have like 30 employees, right? The dude down the street who's trying to keep his auto mechanics place open, which by the way, are still taking clients right now, but they're still struggling, right? Because not many people are taking their car in because they're afraid.
Nobody's driving.
No, nobody's out there getting gas. Every time I go to Costco, I'm like, sweet, no line.
I'm like really disappointed that gas is so cheap right now in a time where like, I don't care. I'm literally driving less than I used to drive.
Oil prices were negative 40 a barrel. It was amazing. Oh my God. Yeah. And nobody's taking road trips. Nobody's flying. It's crazy. It's great. But yeah, so who's getting this money? I know a ton of businesses. I stay abreast. I know I mentor lots of people. I know lots of businesses who aren't just estheticians. Not one of them has money.
Yes. Okay. Same in my circle of friends and the people I'm following on social media. Like nobody has gotten any money. It seems like it all went to giant companies that had no business applying for it in the first place.
Yes. So my accountant, she is a very large company accountant, Amarillo LLP or something like that. I can never say the name. Don't name your business something that nobody can say. So
Lululemon.
Lululemon. Yeah, don't do it, guys. So anyways, I was talking to her. She goes, so did you apply for that? And I'm like, yeah, I did. And she goes, did you get anything? And I'm like, no. And she goes, yeah. So, I mean, I'm dealing with all of this right now. And everyone's like a Fortune 500 company that I'm handling. And I'm like, fuck all those people.
But like, why are they even applying?
Because apparently when money's out there, money's money. And like you grab all the free money you possibly can. It's like if you were standing outside and you just saw $100 bills flying
and you were
around.
7 feet tall and everybody else was 1 foot. It just...
Yeah, you can't say no to free money, Alex, and it's free. And so we're the little guys and we're not going to get it. We didn't get it during when TARP happened, which was the housing crisis. They were like, here's a bunch of money and we didn't get it. You know who got that? The banks. So nobody's getting that money. Sorry, guys. Nobody's getting that money.
You know, I will say, and I know like for some people, especially those of you who are like in business in 2008, this is like a slap in the face with a wet fish as far as like, hey, nobody is coming to bail you out. And it is imperative to have an emergency fund. And I know, I mean, this is a terrible way to learn that lesson because, you know, Susie Orman and like my mom and you, like everyone has been telling me like, you really need to have savings. I'm like, I know, but like, it'll be fine. It's not fine. It's not fine at all.
Yeah. And in fact, right before all this happened, we had an episode where we talked about the fact that I'm like, I kind of feel this coming, and something like, it wasn't coronavirus. I mean, no one saw this. No one saw this, I think, coming, except for apparently the dude, the Microsoft
Fauci?
guy. Yeah. And
he's like, I've been telling you for years.
Apparently he was like, if you had only listened, I really tried. But what you also need to think about as well is that you have to have backup plans. Yeah. And, backup plans for like your life.
Yeah.
Nobody has a backup plan for a pandemic, so don't feel bad about that, because I sure as heck didn't. You do have to have some savings. It's hard sometimes, because I know that a few people were like, literally, I have esthetician friends who are like, I literally just started up my business. I just moved into my new spa. I just built out and was growing, so those kind of things you can't plan for the Spanish Inquisition, right? You can't plan for that. But in general, you think to yourself, okay, I do have some savings. I have some stuff. I've got a plan for this. The other thing that I think that we really need to be talking about is unemployment right now.
What
a bunch of us are supposed to be getting unemployment. And I think that, one, I want to say, first of all, kudos to California for actually just having a website, getting it coded and updated and out there, because I've been impressed that I've even been able to get on it and that it's been working.
Yeah.
It's been updated, even if it's clunky.
Well, here, nerd alert, let's talk about it. It is built on a coding language that only Sybil's mom knows.
Yeah, my mom knows it. I was like, my mom just moved to Colorado. She could have a job here right now.
Well, Colorado also has the same code. There's maybe 6 states. California is one of them that have this super outdated and aged code.
Yeah.
So everything you're saying too, the fact that they were able to update it and get it fixed is just amazing.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. Somebody was like, hey, maybe we shouldn't have people only work from 9 to noon. Maybe 9 to noon. They only used to work 9 to noon. This blows my mind.
I know.
Right? It's like, oh, Californians, they always work. Don't you worry about it.
Has it always been that way though? 9 to noon was it?
I guess. I mean, I assume, except for in times of strife, now. So now they're working from 8 to 8 or something.
Yeah. But the website also, I've never ribbon on a website that says only use this between 8 and 1 p.m. in the afternoon, or whatever arbitrary time it was. And I was like, wait, the internet doesn't just turn off. Why can't I?
It does. Also, I'll tell you, as somebody who's dealt with their phone tree, you actually don't talk to people. So I've dealt with their phone tree and so you don't talk to people. It literally just leads you back to your phone tree and then back to their website again.
They're hey, we don't actually want to talk.
Don't call. Don't call. We don't want to hear you. Don't call. Don't call. Actually, I'm surprised that they don't have people just texting, because in this day and age, why don't they just be like, yeah, we got you a text person. We got you bots that are working.
Even a chat.
Yeah, it's weird that that's not what they're doing, but they're trying. For me, I was actually really surprised. I went through the flow, and I have a video up on Skinfessional about me literally walking through the flow of filling it out and my thought process of going through it. I make too much money. So apparently my making of $400 a week is too much money in California. So I get no money, but I do it anyways.
Now I have real questions, because I also filed for unemployment. Now I did not file for unemployment as a sole proprietor because I am making money right now, but I did file for my gym position, which is, I've paid into the system, so might as well take what's mine.
You're a W-2 employee.
Thank you. And they said I didn't make enough. And so, but they also made me jump through all of the hoops, only to then send me the papers and says, oh yeah, but you're not getting anything. So apparently you can't make too much, and you also can't make too little. Who gets the money? Yeah,
you have to make just right. It's a very Goldilocks situation.
Yeah.
Just the right amount. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I do have friends who are getting the money. I have another friend who worked a full-time remote position for a company that does software for the legal field, which right now is completely shut down, which I think is bonkers that the judicial system just went out to lunch.
Oh, yeah.
She and herself and 3 other coworkers who all were laid off at the same time filed for unemployment together. They're all in California on the phone. What are you putting in this field? What are you putting in that field? So essentially identical applications. One of them got just the California of $480 a week. Another got California plus the federal bonus of $600. Another is still pending. And then my friend got denied. So it also not only Goldilocks, but it's almost like someone's just like, okay, you get it, but you don't. And maybe you do too. I don't know. Who cares?
Right. No, it's true. It's true. Because I do have an aesthetic friend who she worked part-time at a spa as a W-2 employee, which nobody works W-2 as in a spa, people. But she did.
Isn't that that's illegal? Oh, no. It would be 1099 is illegal.
Yeah. So she works as a W-2 employee.
We are not tax professionals. Please do not take any of this.
Yeah. But it's very rare as any esthetician's going to like, well, I've never worked as a W-2 employee, but she does. She worked as a W-2 employee for like, I think 18 hours or something a week. And then she also worked on the side as in her own practice because she was building her practice. She had just started her practice about a year ago and was building her practice as well. And so she actually is getting both those checks. She's getting her an unemployment check for the job that she's out of, and the Fed on top of it.
Nice.
For the work that she's no longer getting because she's making no money in her spa.
Right.
And so she got both. And I was like, good for you, because somebody should be making that money, because I know I'm not.
Yeah. No, it just seemed like a very weird, arbitrary.
It is kind of weird and arbitrary. But I don't know many other people who are making money from the unemployment. But also I know that a lot of people just felt like it was really hard to get it and just kind of threw up their hands.
Yeah.
So if you're listening to this and you just kind of threw up your hands, do apply. Okay. Do apply for the unemployment. Even if you get denied, at least you tried. And it's easier than you think it is. Like, it is a little bit of a challenge, but it is easier than you think it is. It's just some paperwork. It's worth doing.
Their website is, if you're in California, I don't know about any other state, but if you're in California, it is going to crash multiple times. Just come back later.
A bunch of times it's going to crash. It's going to lose your information. You're going to be like, whatever. There are better times of the day to do it. Usually like crazy early in the morning. And then
actually like early afternoon, I found.
Afternoon. So I did it like as soon as I got up, like 8 a.m. I'd find that was really good. And then like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which is yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely agree. Like, do apply anyways, go through the steps. Cause I still don't know, like I might get the federal thing. I don't know. I'm at least in the system. So there's that. Right. So it's definitely worth doing the work.
Well, and let's talk about the fact that you had $600 or whatever, $1,200. How much did you have just magically appear in your bank account?
Oh, it was $1,200 each for me and my husband.
There you go. I received nothing, but we make too much. Apparently we make too much money, which, hey, is not a bad thing.
I mean, being just broke enough has its upsides.
Well, listen, the show is about 6-figure incomes, which is what it's all about right here.
$67 at a time. Here we go.
That's what it's all about right here. Hopefully that will be you next year, because that's what you're doing. Hustling.
Yeah. I mean, online education too is, I think the silver lining to really hold on to in this time is that everybody is having an opportunity to try online education and decide if it's for them or not. So at least people who may not have given it the time of day before have done it now. So if you've ever been thinking about starting an online program, like now is the time. Like I am still getting people buying in the middle of the pandemic. So don't think that like, oh, everybody's broke, they're not buying. That might be your story and it sucks and it's painful, but that's not everybody else's story right now.
No, not at all. And there are definitely people who I think, especially as we get closer to like, people are like, it's near the end. They need it even more because they're just sick and tired of like not doing things and not having things. I know my grays, if I could find somebody who would teach me how to color my hair right now, I would do it.
I know. Yeah. Some salons are sending little care packages. I've seen that on the internet of like, here's your color, here's how to do it. Make sure here's gloves, like the whole kit and caboodle, which is kind of like what you're doing.
Right. Because I know how to balayage my hair, but I do not know how to bleach it. So getting rid of the gray with bleach is simple for me. I don't know how to do that. So if anybody out there is listening and you're like a salon owner and you want to teach me how to bleach my hair properly, I'm with you. Because I can do all the other colors.
You don't have to bleach to get rid of the grays.
I have to bleach if I want to do color over my gray.
Right. Well, you know what? We're in a pandemic. Maybe now's not the time to be putting color.
Listen, this is exactly the time where you need self-care.
It's true. All right. So hashtag self-care. We need color. So moving towards online education and things like that, I absolutely want to talk about the pivot that you made. I'm freaking excited for you because I know that this is something that we've been talking about for a long time. Yeah. And this was literally the shove off the ledge to get it done. So tell me about the Skin Fitness Club.
Okay, Skin Fitness Club. So I've been talking about doing a Skin Fitness Club for forever. And I did launch one quietly on Instagram a bit ago when we talked about it. But what happened was I essentially was doing facial massage and facials once a week for all the people on Instagram who pretty much don't follow me. But I was like, hey, whatever, I'm offering it out there. And about a week or so ago, people were like, hey, I would like to start doing more facial stuff at home. Do you have something for that? And I was like, hey, I'll start sending out little kits. And
side note number 1, respond to the people. When the people tell you what they need, give the people what they want.
Give the people what they want. Don't argue with the people. Just give them what they want. To be like, I don't know. No, don't say ever say, I don't know. Be like, okay.
Yeah. Let me figure it out.
Yeah, let me sort that out for you. So I literally came into my office and I looked at my office and I said, you know what? I have a bunch of product on my shelf that is going bad. And I know that a lot of you I've seen on Instagram and stuff like that, where you're like purchasing stuff to send to people. And I was like, I don't want to buy anything. I don't want to invest any money into sending stuff out because like, I don't have money to do that. But what I do have is a bunch of product just going bad on my shelf. So I have back bar. So I got on the horn with a bunch of my vendors and I was like, can I get permission to send product to my clients, professional grade product to my clients? And when they said, which ones? I said, these are the ones. And they said, yes. No, don't ever send that one. Yes. That's cool. Whatever. Make sure that you
not
get
the one that needs baking soda.
I wouldn't even ask about that one. Like, I can't trust people. So I did my due diligence first and I contacted, and of course I got all the waivers. I contacted my lawyer, and I do have a lawyer that I contact about these things, being like, hey, this is the like, click the button, make sure everything's safe, and they take responsibility for it, and put them into little, decanted them out and sent them out. And the first one was a success. People liked it. And they're like, I would like another one, please. And one of the facials, which I always do one on Tuesday at 6 p.m., join me, Instagram. And people saw other people doing it with me. And they're like, oh, you're doing one. Talk to me about that. What? I didn't know you were doing one. How did they get product? And next thing you know, I have 22 people.
Paying how much a month?
They're paying right now. The monthly is going to be $99 for the subscription. Mm-hmm. And they get one thing a week on the Instagram. And then they get the product delivered to them.
I mean, what they actually get at this point, because for those listening, it can be whatever you want it to be, how you want to be it. But like literally do the math. She's just bringing in over $2,000 a month now.
Right. And it's pretty much in product that I had sitting on my shelf. So the things that I had to purchase, I had to buy shipping things to put stuff in. More little jars, little sample jars. And I had to like test sample jars because like ones I would be like, oh, the product just comes out of this one. So that's not bueno. You're like, no, that's crappy.
Just like I did an envelope, shake it around.
Yeah. So I did have to do some testing of some like jars and be like, this vendor is good. Only get it from this vendor.
Where are you buying from?
I'm buying from Amazon right now from one vendor.
Not even Alibaba?
No, because Alibaba, it takes so long to get them to you.
That's true. Okay.
Right. So like we can get them to you by June 15th. And I'm like, yeah, I need them like even on Amazon. Like I had to like really think in advance. I had 100 in stock already. This is how I sampled the people. So I pre-ordered them and I knew that I'd have them in stock by April 28th for my next shipment.
Have you ever, this is another side note. Have you ever reached out to the vendor and just been like, can I buy direct from you rather than Amazon? Or are they on Amazon?
The vendor themselves, so they're in China.
Okay.
So they're in China because I did reach out because I the one that I really liked, they do different colored tops. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to get specific colored tops. And I reached out, I was like, hey, could I get from you? And they're like, well, we keep them. So interesting enough, they're drop shipping. So they're So they're like, we keep them actually at the Amazon warehouse.
Right. That's how they can do Amazon Prime and stuff.
Right. But so I asked them, I'm like, hey, if I like yours and I don't want anybody else's, I like yours function. I like yours. If I want to buy these in the future, because I get bigger, can I get them from you directly? And they're like, yeah, no problem. So they are on Alibaba. They gave me their information. I started an account. I hearted them. And I also looked at all the kind of the other stuff that they have as well. So, because they do a bunch of stuff.
Alibaba, for those of you who are like, wait, what? It's like the marketplace to buy directly from the Chinese manufacturers who are selling all the stuff that you're buying on Amazon.
And all the things that everybody else is making, because they're knocking everything off.
There's also here's another, if you're like, I need to pivot, there's a whole market of people who like forecast what the next trend is going to be. And then they find a Chinese supplier, they drop ship it through Amazon and just get paid. So talk to the people who are making fidget spinners like 4 or 5 years ago and made like 7 figures selling fidget spinners on Amazon.
Right. So yeah. So one of the things I bought on Alibaba was I purchased, so you got one, correct? One of my face.
Yeah, the scrubbers.
Scrubbers.
Buzzers, so, I call it. I love it.
Foreo. For anybody out there who's like, I use a Foreo and I like the Foreos and I sell them for like $230. I bought them on Alibaba to give to all my clients for Christmas one year for $8 a piece.
I still have that thing too. I use it all the time.
Yeah, no. And I just went to a vendor and I was like, hey, I like yours. Yours is good. Can you send me a sample? And a lot of times I'll send you a sample if you're like, I'm going to purchase this many from you. And I was purchasing 210. And I'm like, I'm going to purchase here, but I want to see one. And so I'm going to give you money for one and they'll send it out to you as a sample. And because a lot of times they won't send you one if it's a sample. They'll like, we are 1,000, right?
Not yet. So before we get into the weeds on drop shipping and all of that, which we can talk about if you guys want to know, just, ask. What I do want to just highlight is that you were able to take an idea and put it out. There was no sales page, which we've talked about before. There was no grand runway to a launch. There was literally 140 characters in an email that you sent to your clients. And I think you did a few Instagram stories. And that was it.
Yeah. So
any concept, I just want to say, any concept you have of, well, it has to be perfect and I have to wait till I'm ready. Do not wait until you're ready. Because guess what? From 2 people who are doing it, you're never ready. But just do it anyways and figure it out as you go along.
No. And it is scary. So straight up, guys, this is super scary. And I'm sitting around being like, every day I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna be ready. I'm shipping these things out. It's probably not going to work. I'm going to have a bunch of things that are like right now I have somebody who's like, my product is currently in Albany, even though it's supposed to be in Torrance. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, and I kid you not, she's like, it's on a great adventure.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm so glad that she's nice because I'm like, I'll ship it out again. Or she's like, nah, the May one's about to come out. I'm really excited. It'll be fine. Either the April one will make it to me or it won't. And I'm like, well, I'll refund your money. Don't worry about it. And she's like, well, I'll wait until the end of May. It'll either get here or you can refund my money. And I'm like, okay. Luckily, she's a cool client, but all those things are good customer care. Because by the way, the hardest thing about shipping is shipping.
Yep.
Right? Shipping sucks.
Yeah. They're like, where's my package? Well, according to the tracking, it's waiting at the post office for you because you put a hold on your mail. Did you forget? According to it was delivered and somebody stole it. I don't know. It happens all the time.
I know.
Okay. So shipping, things to consider, customer care.
And I want to just talk about
No, I was going to say customer care, just think of the same things and the same experience you would create for somebody in your spot on your table. Like that's what you're doing for them virtually.
Right.
So it's nothing groundbreaking. It's nothing new. Just like be a nice person.
Yeah. Just be a nice person. And treat them the way that you wished people treated you. Right. And think about the companies that have treated you really well. So companies that have treated me really well, believe it or not, Zappos is, and I don't ever really buy from Zappos, but they have amazing customer care.
Yeah. They do.
Like, did anybody see when COVID started, they actually put out a campaign where it was like, just call us if you need anything, even if it's just to talk.
I didn't see that.
They put this amazing campaign out and it was incredible.
Nice.
Yeah. So it was really cool. And I use Vitacost a lot, and Vitacost has essentially, they're like, crap gets broken. We know our people can't ship stuff sometimes. We train them and stuff still gets broken. We have an online form. We don't ask any questions. We trust that you are truthful. If you can either have it exchanged or you can have your money back.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
Yeah.
Right. Because they're like, I mean, how many times have you gotten something and people are like, I need a picture of it. you got to prove that it was broken. And you're like, really? Because why?
Or
I mean, why would I lie?
Who charges you? My mother-in-law bought a sombrero one time on the internet because my father-in-law's birthday is Cinco de Mayo. And she just like bought whatever, didn't think twice of it. And it wasn't something that was returnable on Amazon. So to return it, they wanted to charge her $20 for like a $30 sombrero, which I was also like, why did you just buy a $30 sombrero? But anytime you have tried to return something, just think of the experience you had with Amazon and like do something else. I think that's like the best advice.
Well, sometimes Amazon's returns are easy. Like they have the new, like you just bring it in. You don't even need a box anymore. And you just bring it in and they just like scan it and you're done.
But you have to go to a Kohl's. I don't know where a Kohl's is.
I go to a UPS drop shipping system, like place. Yeah, you just walk over to you can tell them where you want to go. I just go to a UPS.
That's crazy. Here's what I will say, and I learned this from you about customer care, especially around shipping and things and virtual things where there's not somebody in front of you. You can't necessarily get body language like we've talked about, conflict resolution. Just ask them. You're like, what can I do for you? What would make this, what's the phrase you taught me? It's just like,
wait, the phrase that pays that I've learned from Lori Nestor.
No, not just the phrase.
This is actually a Lori Nestor thing that I've learned. So you just ask them like, what can I do to solve your problem?
There you go. Seriously, just ask them that and they'll tell you. And maybe it's money back. Maybe they're like, hey, can you just like make sure this doesn't happen again? Yeah, I would love to. Like, so ask them, let them tell you what they need because we're not mind readers and you definitely cannot read people's minds over the internet.
I know. So one of the things you want to make sure that you're doing when you're putting this together. So let's say you have an idea and you're putting it together. Okay. You want to kind of start from, you have this big idea and it's scary and you're like, but it's great. I love this idea. It's going to be amazing. Is you want to kind of like write down all the things that are encapsulated in this idea. Because especially when you're doing things that include like online stuff, they're more complicated than they seem. It's not just like, I'm putting together a website. A website, as Alex knows, it has all these pieces that go into it. And you need to like know that all those pieces work together. Mm-hmm. And what they're going to entail later. And sometimes what winds up happening is you're like, I'm going to try to go the cheapest route. And actually the cheapest route is really expensive because it doesn't work and it's gimpy and you should have just paid some money to, and I'm not saying for a developer, but just for something that like worked out of the box to do exactly what you wanted, but you don't know what you want until you know what you're doing.
I will go even a little bit before you even do this brain dump. Go on social media, send an email, send a text, whatever, to like 10 people. Mm-hmm. Say, I'm thinking about doing fill in the blank. What do you think? And if they say, no, that's crazy, then don't waste any time building something that the marketplace doesn't want. I mean, that's step one.
That's totally true. That's totally true.
You had done on social media, people had already kind of opted in, like just, you definitely want to test the market and see if your idea is viable and then start to do the brainstorming and figuring out like the nitty gritty.
And that is from somebody who's built things who people don't want. So listen to Alex. Yeah, listen to Alex. She knows of what she speaks.
But you know what's interesting? I'm now, so like my jaw pain guide is something that I made. I maybe sold like 20, right?
But it's just how speaking of pivoting, a jaw pain guide.
But here's the thing, like I'm selling for free, but the same thing, but way more people are opting in because of the copy, the way I speak about it, how I've niched down and like and how I've narrowed who I am and what I serve and how I serve them down. So it's easier for them to say, oh yeah, that's for me.
Right. Well, that's the thing, the jaw pain guide. So Alex has this jaw pain guide. And I think it's like the first thing you ever did.
Second thing.
Yeah. It's one of
the first thing didn't sell. So I was like, I should make a new thing because this thing didn't sell.
But like, and like, I know when you did, I was like, this is brilliant. Like, this is brilliant. Like, it's like people need it, right? People need it. And we what made us, because we were literally thinking, like talking to each other and I'm like, you need to roll that out again because this is like really relevant.
Who was it? Somebody, maybe I sent you something where someone was offering something they had for free.
Oh no, there was some dude. There was an Instagram ad that where this guy was like, you got to do this for your jaw. Fix your jaw. And I'm like, Alex, you have this. Why? He's doing these ads and they're not even as good as your jaw guide is. And like, he's getting like all these hits. And I looked and he's like all these followers for this stupid jaw thing. And his isn't even as good, which is, there you go. There's a market. There's a market.
So. Oh, yeah. Well, and people, I mean, again, it's just like niching down. And I find that I'm talking about neck pain at least once a month. And I'm like, if that's my thing, that's fine, because that's something I know how to help people get some resolution with. And that's like what being in the niche, like niching down is all about. But it's super important. And I never did this before, and I do it more now. And I've also just like continued to refine my offer every single moment of every single day. But like ask your people, do you even want this thing before I create it? Because you don't have to have it created to then ask for them to buy. I think that's a really big misconception, that the whole thing has to be built first. This isn't in the physical world. You don't have to have the keys to this new spa with like everything built out. You literally on the internet can say, I have this idea. Are you interested? Wait for people to opt in, wait for people to buy, and then build the thing.
And also I think, so two things I'm going to say about this. One, the first is that I want people to remember that just because there's somebody else out there who's doing it doesn't mean that you can't do the same thing. No. Once again, look, I sent that, and Alex and I do this for each other all the time. Hey, somebody else is doing it. They're already doing this. You should be doing this too. Mm-hmm. Okay. All the time, because somebody might not want theirs, but they might want yours. They might like your ideas. They might like your vibe, whatever. Mm-hmm. Okay. Alex and I could be doing the exact same thing. You might like her stuff better than my stuff. It's just how it is.
Well, and it's not about information, so to speak. Like literally anything I'm teaching is available on YouTube. They can Google it. Like it's not information. People come to you for the way they come to you for you and how you synthesize the information.
That's right. It's like your thing. It's like how you deal with things. Second is that you also have to remember that with the things that are being created, it's also how you ask people if they like it. So if Alex was like, hey guys, do you want a jaw pain guide? They'd be like, oh, maybe. But if Alex is like, do you have jaw pain? Would you like to fix it? Can I help you fix it?
Yeah.
You might get more response.
Stories. Telling stories, story style. Hey, I used to have tension headaches all the time. It sucked. It was awful. And you know what? I don't have them anymore. Do you want to learn how you can do that too?
Just like that. Right. So this morning, speaking of things that I did. So one of the other things that I've done to pivot is I sent out to my current clients. I sent out with the thing saying, hey, I'm starting the Skin Fitness Club. Also, if that's not your jam, I also am doing these online one-on-one classes for people. So we can like Zoom, where the Zoom happens. If you guys haven't seen Where the Zoom Happens, the Hamilton sketch. Oh my God, it's amazing.
I still haven't watched it yet. Sorry.
So I sent out a thing being like, hey, I'm doing these one-on-one, and they're not skin consults. They're skin facial massage, self-care, because people are looking for self-care. They need like massaging and they don't have it. And I'm like, if you want that, let me know and we'll set something like that up. And it's interesting. The people who have reached out to me are people who don't see me for facials. They're people who see me for like eyebrow waxes, Brazilian, underarms. I'm almost all wax people, a couple of facial people, but it's almost all hair removal people. Okay. People I would never have thought to ask. The people who want me for facials want the Skin Fitness Club. They want to get facials at home. The people who want one-on-ones are people who just want self-care at home.
What are you charging for your one-on-ones?
$150 for 30 minutes.
Nice.
Right? Now, mind you, I'll straight up tell you, they go for about 45 minutes because everybody wants to just chat for a little bit. So give yourself the room. They're just like, oh my God, I'm so excited to be talking to you. I've missed you so much. Let's talk about my dog and your cat. What have you been up to? Are you cooking? What are you watching? Because we just haven't talked in so long. And people, once again, what did Alex say? They want you. They like to talk to you. They're here for you. Right? So you want to give yourself time for that. Don't be like, we got to cut off the clock. Oh my God.
No, do not do that. Definitely leave
space.
Buffer space.
Right? So I booked the appointment. I've been booking the appointments. And today I booked this appointment. It's my very first one. Figured out how to do the Zoom, which by the way, was fairly easy. But she was like, I don't even know if I believe in like any of this, but I just need something and let's do this. By the time we finished doing the massage, she was like, this is amazing. I feel so good. How often should I be doing this?
Yeah.
Right. And I'm like, well, the one that we just recorded, I'm going to send off to you. You can do this. And so I wrote down everything she said. Like, so what were your concerns? Well, I don't want a droopy neck. I'm concerned that like my hair is sagging. So it was like all droopy, sagging, all the words she used. When I sent her a video, I used those exact words back. So we're doing this motion to work on your sagging and this for your drooping and all those things. So I used all her words back, just like Alex has taught us all to do. And she booked another session.
Did you pitch her on the club?
I did not put her picture on the club again. So we'll see if she winds up wanting the club. She's not a facial person, so we'll see.
Right, but that's what you guys are doing, essentially. I would say next time to say, hey, if you like this stuff, this is actually really similar to what we're doing over in the club, and I send you the product. Would you like more information?
Well, she can just get the club, which is just that.
Yeah, maybe she wants both.
We'll ask. We'll find out. It comes in the emails. So when she gets the emails again, we'll see.
No, I would say on your next call, after she booked another one at the end of it.
Alex is very much into the hard sales.
It's not the hard sales. I think, honestly, we think that people know all the stuff we're offering because we have all the, it's so clear. I've sent so many emails. They don't know shit, okay? And so
they're not reading?
No, they're not reading. So when you're on the call with them, and you do your thing at the end of the call, hey, I don't know, I don't know if you saw, like, don't even mention that. Like, hey, Jane, I know you've really been liking these and I've been so enjoying them too. This is actually really similar to what we do inside the Skin Fitness Club. I send you some product and we do facials and, all those things. Would you be interested in some more information on that? And then you send her a separate email.
How does that sound?
How does that sound?
I'd love to get you into it. How does that sound?
Yep. Oh yeah. No, I use that in my DMs. It was somebody, again.
All right, guys. So this is literally how Alex and I sit around and make each other better. And if you don't have somebody like this, you need somebody. So make sure you call us, type us, text us. This is what we do for our mentees.
Yep.
Just like this.
Yes.
Well, how does that sound?
You have to have somebody who knows your business and what you do and has experienced it in some capacity, because they're the best people to ask questions and bounce ideas off of and like workshop things with.
See outside of you, because we get very enmeshed in our own thing.
Yeah. Well, they're just like, people don't read the emails. Oh my God. If I had $1, I didn't know it was expiring. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you miss 14 emails I've been sending you over the last 2 weeks? Like,
oh my God. If you go back, guys, and you listen to all of our freaking episodes, you hear about this person.
Oh no, this was somebody else. No, this is
over again.
Actually, no, here. I will say I resolved resolution for that client. I put the ball in her court. Instead of me doing all the work. Of, let me put you in and let me make sure you got the email and let me make sure you're using the thing, because you're going to come back and say, oh, I didn't know. I said, I created a coupon code for her. I said, here you go. There it is for you. It's set up so the first month was free and then it automatically would start billing. So she had to put in her credit card information. And hey, guys, she hasn't signed up.
No, she will never sign up because that's going to take effort.
No.
Right. She's not going to do that.
No. One thing we definitely want to touch upon, since you are fresh to this, is things that you definitely should ask and think about before you build out this online experience, we'll say.
Yes.
We started talking on to, and then we got into the weeds as we normally do, because we just love business.
We do.
But the tools that you use.
Yeah, the tools.
So that was part of what you're talking about of, do this brain map, do this brainstorming, really figure out what are all the things that I want. And, you were mentioning this before we hit record too, of just being really clear of like, these are my must-haves. I absolutely need this tool to be able to do this, and having that in your thought before you go out and look at a product, because take it from us, the worst thing in the world is to build out a whole thing and then find out that this thing doesn't talk to anybody else, but now you're stuck because you just spent lots of hours or lots of money doing the thing.
Right. And that is so valuable and important to do. As somebody who's in it now and knows better and has a developer who can do all the things, even knowing all those things, we're definitely still sitting around being like, why is it like this right now? So be prepared and know your skills. Be like, am I technical? If you're not, get something that's easy. Like, and ask your friends, what do you use? Ask around. What do you use to build your thing? Like, I like yours. What is yours?
Yeah.
Right.
I've gotten so many questions like that over the last couple of weeks. I'm just like, here's what I'm doing. Cause I think everyone just needs to know right now.
Yeah. Just like, if, like, hey, I really like your membership. I like, what you're doing. Here you go. The things that I have found that anybody who might be building something like I'm doing, things that are important to ask questions. If you have a membership site, yes, you're going to have members, but are you also going to be selling something? Like mine has a membership, but I also have a subscription that I'm sending people physical goods. Now, those physical goods are technically things that could be sales taxed upon. Most membership sites do not collect sales tax monies. Right? They're like, this is a service. Services aren't sales taxable. Whatevs. Okay. So they don't take that into account. All right. It depends on what you're doing. You need to find out for yourself what your state laws require. If you're in Oregon, you don't care about this at all. There's no sales tax at all. Right.
Just fast forward 30 seconds.
Right. You need to be prepared. You have to know the answers to this when you're going in. So for me, I was like, okay, well, I'm setting up tiny little pieces of something I've already paid tax on, because back bar, I pay tax on. If you do not pay tax on your back bar, but are required to pay tax on product that you ship out, there's a whole nother ball of wax. Find out what you need to do for yourself. Okay. Yeah. Subscription boxes, you're required by law to pay tax on. It is a physical good. Samples, little tiny samples, all these little things, required to pay tax on. All right. I run everything through Shopify. Anything that's taxable, I run through my Shopify store. Shopify collects my tax and does all my taxes for me. I don't have to worry about it. Huzzah. Okay. These are things that you have to know about. And people are like, well, it's a gift. Alex is like, mine's is a gift.
Well, I ship one time.
And it depends on wording. So sometimes it depends on wording. Is it one time? If it's monthly, is it a gift monthly? Is it part of your membership? It's all like how it's described, what it is, how much it is. So these are important things to know, because most of these membership sites and programs do not deal with sales tax. I'll straight up tell you, because I've been up into their business and they do not.
I want to say too, like, as you're listening to this, one of the tools you'll need is something to take the credit cards, like Stripe, PayPal, Square, something like that. And then another thing that actually is like the cart. So those are two separate things. I didn't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like 2 years ago. And so the cart is usually the thing that accepts the sales tax.
Yeah, it sets up the sales tax and all that stuff.
Right, and the credit card is the thing that does not.
Right.
It's the thing that just accepts the money.
It's like the swiper.
Yeah.
Right. And then your POS system, right? Your iPad where you're punching stuff in. That's like what your cart is.
Right, exactly. So a lot of people are like, well, I have Stripe, I have PayPal. I'm like, but that's not taking your sales tax, sweetheart.
That's a swiper.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Alex, for explaining that so succinctly.
Do what I can.
Yeah, because no, it's really complicated. The things we do can be really complicated, and the IRS will come and snap you up, guys. They will find you.
Yes, they will.
Because especially the small people, they will find us because they don't care about us even.
Well, because they're too busy giving all the PPP loans to the big companies. Now they're like, man, we don't have anything to do. Let's go track down the little guys and shake all the coins out of their pockets.
Also the people who are getting the PPP loans, the big guys, they can afford to fight. Whereas like, we're like, oh God.
So messed up.
Which is why I also have a big company who does my taxes, because like, they can be like, we've got all the lawyers. We have all the people. That's why I do it. Other things
you talk also of someone who has lots of money.
Well, because
I'm like, a lawyer, I can't even hire legal Zoom.
6-figure income people, then you start getting those people, right? Yeah. Next thing that I think is really important that you think about as we come back around, other things that are important to think about are, can this go into other venues? So if you want to take this particular information and put it, you're like, oh, I want this information, and I do have a Shopify cart, or I do have a Squarespace or whatever. Mm-hmm. Does it whatever you're doing, your membership, does it plug into that? And if it doesn't,
I was going to say, because I remember to take your email addresses from Shopify and put them into an email software.
Right. And if it doesn't, then maybe that's not right for you. Or you want to make sure, you're like, ooh, who does this company? I love my Shopify. I start now with, who talks to my Shopify? Because I primarily use Shopify, and Shopify is they're my homies. So who talks to my Shopify? Okay. So that's what I do. So whatever your primary thing is, that might be like where you start from. I think, Alex, you do the same thing with your
WooCommerce and my email provider. Yeah. I'm like, if you don't play, I'm so deep into those things now after, 10 years that there's no point to go start something new. It's so much more work than it's worth.
Right. Messing around with other people. Right. You're like, they're my boo, right? You're like, this is how it is now, guys. I can't be changing.
Why would I do something with someone else's bae? This is my bae.
Yeah, this is how it is now. And then I think the other thing that's really important to think about is what form of communication is important to you. One of the things that I'm communicating with is I'm working on text messaging and video. And so I need to make sure that I could plug in with those. If you're like, I'm just communicating with email, then you want to make sure that you have a good email provider and that you get somebody who understands DNS, which is fancy for how do I make my emails talk to my servers.
You're scaring people.
I know, but these are the things that, like, if you're like thinking about this, Alex, when you had to start doing this, were you like, this is complicated?
I paid money up front to get an email service provider.
There you go.
And then there's this amazing thing called YouTube.
There you go.
I mean, I can't even tell you how many videos actually I did watch on DNS and the internet to understand before I broke something, because I didn't want to break it and I didn't break it. So there you go.
There you go. So a lot of times the provider, so Alex is like, I really like my web host, because your web host, if they're good, they will help you with that.
Yep.
Also, if you have a good email provider, they will help you with that.
Yep.
And your also the server the person who you buy your web URL from will also help you with that. So like GoDaddy, everybody buys stuff from, they suck. They don't care about you.
No, they're the worst. I use Namecheap.
Namecheap. I use Namecheap.
So here's the other thing I also want to say too, as you venture into the internet, GoDaddy, HostGator, they all charge you premium prices because it's like a package deal. They're doing some of the work for you. You can easily go to Namecheap, buy a URL. I think base price is like $9 a year. And then just plug that into Squarespace, plug that into Shopify, plug that into...
And they make it super easy. And they make it super easy. They have customer support that's really easy, and they have videos that are like, oh, if you don't understand how to do it, here.
Yeah.
There. And if you break it, we'll help you.
Speaking of URLs too, I finally let hollaforsamala.com lapse because they were charging me. I bought it through Weebly, which is similar to HostGator and all of that. It was like $70 a year. And I was just like,
why didn't you just move it over to Namecheap?
Because I didn't know how.
Oh, Namecheap would have helped. Ready? Namecheap would have helped you.
And I also was like,
okay.
Nobody could spell it anyways. So I didn't feel like there was a risk.
I respect that. I mean, I don't own Sybil Solon. Guys, if you guys want to become me, apparently you can go out and buy Sybil Solon.
I'm going to go buy it right now and sell it back to you for
I've never purchased
$500.
I'm the only Sybil Solon in the world. If somebody wants to go buy my name, nobody can spell it. So if I own it, people are like, how do you spell that again?
Right. That's Holla for Mala. I mean, it's still my Instagram handle. I'm like, you know what? DGAF.
It is what it is. So I've never owned it because it's just too hard to freaking spell.
Things to think about. So definitely have your anchor, do the brain map, figure out what it is that you want it to do. Have your anchor software. And then, there's a reason why there's software like Kajabi. I have zero experience in it.
By the way, I will tell you, Kajabi, I don't use Kajabi. I don't know anything about I don't use it. I haven't kicked the tires of it. Alex doesn't use it either. But I'll tell you that everyone I know who builds stuff long-term will be like, I use Kajabi.
Yep.
I moved to Kajabi. Yep. I pay for Kajabi. Because apparently Kajabi is the shit.
Yeah.
It's just easy. It's just easy and it does everything. And yes, it'll cost you money. So if you're like, I need to get this up and running, I want to do it fast. I'm planning on making money at this, and I just need this to actually run. Kajabi, and anybody can set it up.
I'm going to put a pitch in here for Mighty Networks, which is what my membership is built on. It is another one of those all-in-one community. So if you're like, I hate Facebook, but I want a group, you can do it there, which from what I understand is a lot better than Kajabi's. They'll take payment for you. They'll even take Apple payment for you. And you can put your you can do all things. So there's another thing to look at.
Right.
Also, I think the most important thing that I would like to get you guys all to understand is Google is your best friend. You can build a business by Googling things, and don't ever take what somebody tells you face value, because everybody is selling you something because they're getting a cut of it. Amy Porterfield, I love her. She gets commission on Kajabi. So of course she's going to like tell you to go do Kajabi. So do some Googling, do some research, talk to some people. Do not spend more than 48 hours doing this, because then you're just procrastinating and hesitating, and like go get shit done.
Right. I know that Tribe, I think, is another one. Tribe is another network that I think Tribe is another network.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, I think Tribe is another network. It's like Mighty Networks. When I was cooking the tires of some stuff, one of my teacher clients uses Tribe for all of her stuff.
Yes, I see it.
And she said that she uses it. A lot of educators, she said, are like educators are on it because they give it away for free for all educators.
Oh, that's cool. And I think also, like we've talked about too, like find the people who you like, and they might be people, they might just be big people that you don't know, and try it out, pay for a month, do some Googling, see what, ask the questions, find out what software they're using, and then go kick the tires on that.
Right. But don't let analysis paralysis get in your way. Right. I've done it. I've had it happen where I'm like, I have to do it perfect. I have to know, I have to understand. Right.
No, perfect.
As somebody who's watched my boyfriend Nils, his whole shtick is understanding software and learning it so that he can then be like, okay, this didn't work. We get rid of it. This is how he does it. I got to watch him do this for all of the stuff we decided to use. He sits down with the software and just watches from start to finish every single one of their like help videos.
Yeah, that's genius.
That's all he does. He just sits. He's like, okay, we're gonna have lunch. We're just gonna watch all of their videos. And I'm like, we're just gonna watch all the videos. We're not gonna choose. He's like, no, we're just start from the beginning and just watch all the videos.
Oh my God.
And so for like an hour, we watch all the videos. And it is fascinating because they will often talk about things in that video that, even though it's like, it's about enrollment, but you'll learn about other things beyond the enrollment. They're like, oh, and in this enrollment, oh, by the way, so over here, you can also connect your CTAs and landing pages, and you're like, oh. And in the landing page, you're like, we're talking about landing pages. This is how landing pages work. But you're like, but nobody talked about how I can connect things. Right? So it is, I understand now why he watches every single thing. My other final thing I want to talk about is, if you're using a product, get into their Facebook users group.
Yes.
That is where the real magic happens. You have a question, you get into the user group and you're like, before you put asking question help, there's a little thing on the side and search for it. Don't be a noob. Be over there and be like, do some searching for the answer yourself. If you really can't find it, then ask the question. But a lot of times that question has been asked and answered, or you can ask additional question within that same, even if it's like a year old, it'll pop to the top again and somebody will answer your question from there.
Basically, just do some damn Googling, you guys. Like, find your answers yourself, because you know what you need best, and like, don't waste other people. I mean, I know this sounds heartless, but like, this is coming from someone. People ask me all the time, like, well, what microphone should I use? And I'm like, just freaking Google it. Because the one I use, I've been using for years. There's probably something way better out there that I don't even know about.
Well, I will say what it's the same one I use. So
I've been getting a lot of, how do I record my classes and how do I upload them and what microphone do you use? And I'm like, listen, child, I'm not even recording on an iPhone anymore. I can't help you, but here's what I used when I used it, and best of luck. Godspeed.
Well, and also like, just go online and take a look, but whatever.
Google it.
But yeah, at the end of the day, you can always ask somebody, hey, I really like what you're doing. What do you use?
Yep.
You can always ask that question. I like what you're doing. What do you use? But don't be a noob. Nothing pisses off tech people more than you asking. What if clients came in all the time and like, what over-the-counter product should I use from Sephora? That's the question you're asking. When you go like, so what microphone is your favorite?
Yes.
Don't do it. Don't ask techies like stupid noob questions. Right? Do some due diligence work for it first and then ask those questions. Because you're also smarter.
Yeah. And know that there are many people out there who have built their businesses from the University of Google. Myself being one of them. Yeah. You can do it. It's been done before. It can still be done. You're never too late. The market is never too saturated for your unique voice. Just like do it. Just do it.
You're going to be fine. You're going to be great. I'm super excited. And I'll keep you posted because trust me, like right now, I am crazy nervous about launching this.
I'm already launched it.
It is soft launched right now.
No, it's launched. Done. Cat is out of the bag. People are paying you money. It is done. Stop with this language.
It is launched, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to put stuff together right now to like put them out. Oh, and very exciting. I'm cross promoting it with one of my clients is a online blogger. And so we're doing my very first official facial out.
Collab.
It's going to be a collab. So I'm collabing.
Yep.
So I'm really excited about that. So I'll let everyone know how that's going.
Ooh, this makes me remember one thing I wanted to say. I don't think I wrote it down yet. About payments, right? We've been talking about monthly memberships. I've done.
Hold on. You're blipping. Yeah.
What was that?
You're blipping.
Oh, I think it's you.
Okay.
Okay. So one thing I also want to add about payment options, because I know we've like thrown a bunch of stuff out there. Should I charge, give a discount for paying in full for the year because then I get more money up front? And I say no for two reasons. Number one, then you're signed in for a whole year. Like you got to keep creating content for those people for a whole stinking year because you're going to spend their money. And the nice thing about doing a monthly membership is at any time when you're like, listen, this has been great. We've had a great run. This is not what I wanted. This isn't serving me. I know you love it, but it's just not my thing. You can just close up shop and walk away.
Yeah.
So things to think about.
Totally. And this is from Alex, who's been doing this for how long have you been making memberships now online?
Well, my membership is a year old. Yay! But I've been doing online courses since 2012, I think.
Yeah, I'm like, since I've known you. So
a long time. I'm like, oh, it's not that old. And then I'm looking at my software. I'm like, oh my God, it's so old.
Yeah, it's a long time. All right, guys. So I think this is going to be the end of our beautiful conversation, which makes me a little sad because we've had a really good one. Hopefully everybody's learned a bunch of stuff.
Yes. Hopefully we didn't overwhelm you with information, but if we did, just ask a question. You can come find us on the social medias. We're at Skinfessional on all of the places. I am at Hala Formala on Instagram, and you are
your skin fitness expert.
Yes. And go follow her because those facials are really super fun.
Every Tuesday, 6 p.m.
doing all of the things, and I'm even starting to like slap myself while I do my
I know. It's going to be awesome. And if you need it's still free, right? Your jaw pain.
Oh, the jaw guide. Yeah. AAwellness.com/jaw pain. And then use the code. I'm going to give you the code JAW, and you can get it for free.
I mean, in case you didn't know, it's super secret.
It's super secret. Well, no, I had to look at here's another ninja level trick. I put different codes depending on the medium so I could track where they were coming from.
Ooh, look at baller like that because tracking is good. All right.
Numbers.
So you can also send us information by calling us at our Skinfessional box. The phone number is 818-473-5277.
And we'll put that in the show description if you're like, wait, I don't know numbers.
Numbers are hard. I know, especially now. So until next week,
keep your secrets to yourself.
Unless you're telling us.
Goodbye.
Bye.